Hi guys, it's Darren. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do a stitch with me. And today we're going to be working on my supersized tiger family of the jungle. So that's this piece. So again, for those who don't know, this one is being done on 25 count easy count or easy guide, whichever one you want to call it. I'm doing 1/1 full cross. Now today I thought I would go through a more of a like get to know you needleworker tag. Now this one was done by Alma. I've linked her before. Excellent stitcher. I'll link her channel again down below on this one. So I thought I'd borrow this off of her. So I'm going to do this for you today. So grab your coffee and your stitching or your beverage of your choice, whatever you're drinking, and we'll get on with it. Now, I do apologise. I had someone mention as well that my left hand is always in the way when doing my stitch with mates. But because I get a fair few people watching these now, I think it's about 300-400 people. What I've decided to do is I've purchased a overhead camera arm. So hopefully that should be here by the end of the week. So that being the case, it will mean that next time, hopefully, you shouldn't have my left hand in the way. I did try to see if I could do it with my right hand on top, but it's not as comfortable. So I apologise. So this will be the last time you have to hopefully put up with my left hand in this shot all the time. So let's get on with this needleworker tag. So do apologise as well if you can hear a noise in the background. I've got the fan on. It's 29 degrees here at the moment, so it's nice and warm. So first question then. There's about 20 questions I think on this, so I don't know how long it'll take me to answer. So the first question, just cross stitch or specialty stitches too? Now, all I do at the moment is just cross stitch. I'd like to try the specialty stitch ones, but I haven't got round to those yet. I have been looking at a couple of patterns. There's the twisted band sampler, which is a really big different colours that go across with like butterflies and stuff like that, but they're all done like you'll have like a row of normal stitches and then a row of specialty stitches. So I've looked at that one. So if you're going to try specialty stitches, you might as well go big, right? So I've looked into getting that one. Also as well, it was Gail Phillips. She did one which was a hardanger piece, and that one looked really good. So I'm interested in maybe giving that a try as well. And I think Teresa Little Stitcher, she's done a couple of pieces as well with like part hardanger, part normal stitching. That looks good as well. So yeah, I wouldn't mind trying specialty stitches. So we will see what I can find. The next one, whole stitches only or half and quarter stitches too? Prefer full crosses, whole stitches. Don't mind doing obviously the half stitches because that's what 10 stitches. And I've got a couple of pieces that I'm doing in 10 stitch, so I don't mind those. Quarter stitches and fractional stitches, I'm not overly keen on those ones. As you remember, if you remember the Christmas ornament with the 3 little mice, that one had some like quarter stitches and that in there. I didn't like that. It was good when it was all stitched up, but I didn't like doing those, especially on that fabric, having to try and split the fabric so you can do them. Might be different if you do it on like your linens and stuff like that, where you're doing over 2. So who knows, I may get to like them, I may not. Question number 3, French knots or beads in their place? I've never actually really done French knots. One of my pieces does call for a lot of French knots, which, if you remember, is the underwater one with all the dolphins on it, and the fish is in there with the bubbles. I think all the bubbles are French knots. So, yes, I haven't got around to trying those yet. I've never done beading, so I can't say whether I like beading or not. So, I couldn't say on that one whether I prefer French knots or beads. Jury's still out on that one. I will let you know once I start doing the French knots on the dolphin piece. But I've watched a couple of tutorials on how to do it. It looks pretty straightforward, but I know a lot of people struggle with French knots and really don't like doing them. So I'll let you know how I get on. So that's number 3. Number 4, backstitch, nemesis or friend. Right, well, backstitch, I can take it or leave it. Yes, once you've done the backstitching, things look a hell of a lot better than what they did before you backstitched them. Take, for example, those 2 little ornaments that I did, the snowman and the mice. They were all backstitched, and they did look really good once they were done. So I do like the end results of backstitching. I'm just not a fan of doing backstitching. So, and here's me wanting to do some samplers and stuff like that, which I know have all got backstitching in it, but hey, well, never mind. Next question, washed or unwashed? I'm assuming that means after you finish the piece. I'm assuming. So I'd prefer to wash them after I've finished working on the piece. So, although a couple of my pieces have been washed prior to finish, mainly because one, I spilled coffee on one of them, which was the Egyptian Queen, and the other one was the Chief Eagle Spirit, but that one was because that had been in storage for a fair while and it got a bit dusty, just didn't look very nice, so I gave that one a wash. So, but I mean, like with all these mahades and stuff like that, I mean, they're going to have to get washed anyway to get these lines out of them, so I don't mind washing them. So they will, all my pieces will get washed. Obviously, I know, because I use DMC, I know they don't run. I know some of the fancy flossers that you can get, they're not colour fast, so like the ones I got sent through, I did double check to see if they were colour fast or not, and I was told don't wash them whatever you do. So yeah, so anything that I do with those flossers will not be getting washed, so I'll have to make sure that I'm extra clean when stitching on those ones and keep the cats away from them. Next question, iron, or what's an iron? I do have an iron, so I've not ironed any pieces yet. I will do once I come to sorting out how I'm going to finish them off. If you remember, I've got the Majestics Tiger one, which is the one of the finished ones that I showed. That's been washed and folded up ready for me deciding what I'm going to do with it. But that one will get ironed before anything else happens with it. So yeah, I do prefer to see them ironed rather than creased, but I'm not one of these who go through and iron them just for the sake of doing a video. If it's creased, it's creased. If it's not, it's not. But 9 out of 10 mine are all in Q snaps and that anyway, so you can't see any creases because they're all pulled tight. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Professionally framed, or do you do it yourself? Well, I've not framed anything, so, and I've not had anything professionally framed. I would like to get some stuff framed. Whether I do it myself or not, I don't know. I'll have to watch a fair few tutorials on that. Because I know getting them professionally framed is not very cheap. And over here, I have looked to see about getting the Majestics Tiger one professionally framed, but I can't find any framers that do cross stitch work. So If there is anyone on here that's from Australia and you know anywhere who does framing, please let me know. But I don't know of anyone, so it may be a case of I may have to attempt that myself. So YouTube, here we come. Because you know for a fact I'll be doing that, because I know you do a lot of, is it lacing or whatever you call it on the back, and pull it tight, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next question. Strictly for the pattern or creative muse? I am a stickler for the pattern. I will follow the pattern. I'm not one of these creative people who can just say, I know what, we'll change this colour to this one. Because knowing my look, I'd pick it all wrong and it wouldn't look good in the end. So no, I am a stickler for the pattern. I will follow the pattern to the T. Yeah, some of my pieces may have the odd 1 or 2 mistakes in it, which I'm sure most people will have, where you think, yeah, I'm not unpicking it all just to change like 1 or 2 stitches. I'll just fudge it, it'll be fine. So yeah, no, yeah, so no, I stick to the pattern, which is a good job really, since I'm doing heids. You really need the patterns for the detail, but even my smaller ones, I do stick to them as well. Next question. Organised stitcher or ruler of chaos? If you're regarding to where I keep my stitchy stuff, then I'm a ruler of chaos. Nothing is put away that neatly. Well, everything's in the bags, in the project bags I've got for them, those little mesh bags. But everything is just thrown in. It's not organised at all. The only thing that is organised is my floss for this piece, because that's all bobbinated and in those boxes, so I know where it all is. If you're regarding to when I'm stitching, then I'm quite organised. I'll have all my stuff at the side of me that I know I'm going to need, and I will make sure it stays exactly where I need. If I take anything out, it goes back in the same spot. And so yeah, quite organised when I'm stitching, but when I'm not stitching, it's not very organised. It's organised chaos. Right, next question. Planned or spontaneous? I think everyone knows the answer to that one. I'm very spontaneous. I think there's only been one planned project, which is my mini Deer Creek. That is planned because I want to get that done for my brother. So that's the only one that is actually planned. All the rest are just spontaneous. So it's like, I know, I'll just start this one. As you do. Alright, now you're going to have to bear with me, guys, while I'm going to try and do a pin stitch. Try being the operative word. Always the case when you're on camera, things don't quite go according to plan. Especially when you've got a cat eyeing you up at the side of you, getting ready to pounce. Oh, I tried doing a pin stitch as well on the 28 count. Boy, that is hard. I managed it, but not again. So yeah, if you're planning on doing a pin stitch on 28 count, or you're really good at doing a pin stitch on 28 count, then let me know your best way of doing them. Obviously, you see how I do my pin stitch there. So that's how I was trying to do it on the 28 count. It was a little bit fiddly. So yeah, I kind of gave up on that idea. Again, if you'd not seen how I do my thread my needle, I fold it over the top, hold it between my fingers, and I just thread it through. Easy as. And this is how I always start mine as well. Oops, sorry for the shaking. So go down a couple of stitches away at the top part, pull it till it's almost gone. Back down and up, So you're going to complete it, and then just pull your little tassel till it near enough disappears. And then finish across. And then what I then do is I scrape my needle across the back just to get rid of it. So a nice easy way. Saves having to mess around flipping it over. There is a way of doing the loop start on a single strand from the front, but I haven't really mastered that one, so I don't use it. Am I a process stitcher or a project driven? I'm 9 out of 10 a process stitcher. I like to work on pieces and see them progress. I'm not project driven. The only one I'm project driven on is, again, my mini Deer Creek, because that's for a Christmas present. But other than that, I just like doing the process of doing the stitching. Next question. Impulse buyer or thoughtful purchaser? Depends if Haid has a sale on or not. If Haid has a sale on, then I am just an impulse buyer. I will just go in and have a look, and then I'm like, ooh, I like that one, and buy it. If I've got the money. As you can tell, I did that. If you watch my last video, I think I bought 6 in the last Haid sale. They had 50% off, which I didn't know about, and I wasn't going to bother. And then someone on FlashTube sent me a message saying, Haid's got a sale on, don't look on the site. Well, of course I'm going to go and look at the site. You just told me they've got a sale on. So I went and bought, I think it was 5 or 6 patterns. Luckily, most of that was because I had some birthday money, so otherwise it may have been 1. So yeah, so looking forward to starting those ones. So if you haven't seen what I bought, go and watch my last video, and you'll be able to see exactly what I purchased. Now all I have to decide is when I'm going to start them and how I'm going to start them. I think I've worked it out. I think I've got about 14 to 16 Haids that have yet to be started. And out of that, I think there's 4 supersized ones. Because 1's not enough, so you obviously need more. So yeah, definitely an impulse buy. Right, now this section on here is called Moment of Truth section. So I think there's only about 6 or 7 questions on this one. So if you make a mistake, do you have to frog it out? Depends. If I can fudge it, no. If I can't, then yes. As you're aware, with my wolf piece, I had to frog out near enough the whole wolf that I'd done, because I miscounted and put it in the wrong spot. With the Haid one, if I put a stitch in the wrong spot, 9 out of 10 I'll just stitch over it with the right colour when I get to it. Because obviously on 25 count you can frog, it's not too bad. The 28 count, that one's a little bit tricky, as I tried. So the 28 count ones are definitely just going to get stitched over. The 25 count, depending whereabouts it is, if I spot it near enough straight away, then I'll frog it. If not, it doesn't get frogged, it just stays there. And then I'll just stitch over it. Have you ever shown your work? If not, would you like to one day? I've never shown any of my work, except obviously on YouTube. But I've never entered any like craft fairs or anything like that. To be fair, I'm going to say no, the criteria for the craft fairs can be quite strict, and all your stitches have to go the same way, and they have to be all laid neat and everything like that. So no, I've never really been interested in showing my work. I've only got 2 finished pieces, so the only one that would be any good would be the Majestic Tigers, but again, that one was just before I found floss tubes, so my stitches all don't go the same way. They're all over the place. But that was a learning curve. They all go the same way now. Next one. Who do you stitch for? Well, unless it's a gift, which is my brother's piece, all the rest are for me. So if somebody asks me to do something for them, then yeah, I'll stitch it for them. I'm not a problem with that. Oops, I did that one wrong. But 9 out of 10, anything I stitch is for me. So somebody did ask how I choose how I'm going to stitch a piece as well. So how I'm going to choose whether I'm doing full cross or tent stitch. And the answer I gave them is, if I know it's going to be a piece that I want to display in my main living area and where people are going to see it, then I will do it full cross. If it's a piece that is just going to be in another room or one that I want to get done quickly, then it will be on tent stitch. Just because you can get more progress done on tent stitch, because it seems to stitch up a lot faster than what it would be doing the full cross. If you stitch gifts, are they delivered on time or are they fashionably late? Well, anyone who knows me knows I don't like to be late. If I have an appointment at, say, 3 o'clock, I will be there at 2:30. I don't like to be late. I don't like to keep people waiting. So if it's a gift and it's for a specific time, then I will aim to get that done for that time. Hence the reason with my brother's piece, I want to get him that for Christmas. And the last post over to the UK is towards the end of November. So hence the reason I'm pushing on the Mini Deer Creek to get that one finished by the end of November, so I can get it sent off in time. So I'm hoping to get it done before the end of November. I'm hoping to get it done maybe around about the beginning or the middle, but we'll just see how time goes when I get a chance to stitch on it. Because as with any plans, you start doing them and then something comes along and you end up getting delayed, and then you don't get as many stitches in as you wanted to get in. But with that one, I am making sure, like I say, I'm aiming for it's near enough 3,000 stitches a week, and that's what I'm aiming for. So normally I only stitch on it Saturday and Sunday, but if I've not hit my target, then I will stitch on it Monday as well until I've reached my target, and then swap out my project if I've got time, or that'll be the end of my stitching on that day. Where is the strangest place you have ever stitched? Here. I've only ever stitched in my house. I've never taken stitching anywhere. So I do apologise, you'll hear a motorbike going past. So yeah, so the only places I've ever stitched are in my home. So I'm either sat on the sofa or it's in my bedroom. Well, in the UK it was in my bedroom. Over here it's just in the lounge room on my sofa. So yeah, so I haven't really got any strange places of stitching. I keep thinking of trying to do you hear everyone saying, oh, they do like travel pieces when they're in the car and stuff like that. I couldn't focus. It'd be too bumpy for me to try and work out where I'm going and then trying to keep the pattern in place, and so no, I just settle with the sitting on the sofa doing it. It's easier for me. Next question. Is there any place on earth where you would really like to stitch? I can't say there is, no. As long as I can get comfy anywhere, I'll sit anywhere and stitch. But yeah, there's not a specific place that I've always thought, oh, I'd really love to go there and stitch. I'd like to actually stitch in a retreat. But seeing as most retreats are over in like America or in Europe. It'd be pretty expensive for me to go to a retreat. I know they do one over here every now and then. I think it's Laura Egg Stitches arranged one last time, but that's obviously been cancelled due to the COVID. But I'd like to go to one eventually, but I know it's going to cost to go to one. So one day I'll get to one. One day. If you could only stitch on one project monogamously, yeah, say that 10 times fast when you're drunk, for a year, what would it be? Well, the only one I think that would take a year or longer to stitch would be any of my heids. It would either have to be this one, just so I can get a lot of progress done on it, or my dolphin one, the underwater dolphin and turtle, which I haven't started yet. I'd do that one, or that new white tiger one that I bought the other day. That one. I think they'd be the ones that I'd do monogamously. Next question. What is the most amount of whips you've had at once? So that would be right now. And I think I worked it out. I've got 15, maybe 16 whips on the go at the moment. Not bad to say I only started out with 7. So yeah, I'm up to about 15, I think, now. So, and again, somebody else asked that, why the change of heart from when I originally started. And one of the main reasons for that one, I don't mind saying, is obviously you watch everybody else's floss tubes, and you can see them all having like hundreds and hundreds of projects on the go, and you see all their subscribers and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, if I want to keep my subscribers or gain more subscribers, then I need to have more interest instead of people just watching the same couple of projects every single week. So that was the main reason why I started a lot of my projects. But then after answering that question for the viewer, I then realised that you've got people like Ginger Gerald Stitches, or Ginger Gerald, and he only has like 3 or 4 projects on the go at once. And I was like, so there was no need really for me to start them all, but I've started them all now, so there's not much I can do about it. But to be fair, I am enjoying them, all of them. But yeah, I think from starting a couple, I kind of got the start-itis, so I want to start everything now, but I'm trying not to. So I know a lot of people are doing this no new starts 2021. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. I'm going to say yes, I've got enough. I think I've probably got enough projects to do it, but I don't know if I'm going to do it yet or not, because there are a couple of projects that I do want to try, which is obviously the long dog sampler, that pandemic one that everyone's doing. I do want to try that one, and I say I do want to try something with specialty stitches and of some kind. So we'll see if I can get one of those started by the end of the year. Then I might do the no new starts 2021, but if not, I'm just going to start everything. I'm not. If not, I'll just continue as I am until I've started those pieces, and then maybe do a year where I don't start anything. If it starts getting out of hand and I've got way too many projects on the go, then yeah, I think I'll do a no new starts one. Once I've set myself a mission, I don't like to generally change from that. Right, next question. How old is your oldest active whip? Well, that just depends on what you call my oldest active whip. My oldest whip is, in effect, my Northern Lights, which is the Wolf project that I have restarted. and frogged and frogged and restart. So that in effect is my oldest whip, but also one of my newest whips. If you don't include that one, then my oldest whip prior to, other than that, would be Chief Eagle Spirit, followed by the Egyptian Queen. Those two are my oldest ones, other than my Wolf project. Next question. Honestly, tell us about your stash. How many charts and kits do you have? Well, kits, you've seen them all. They're all part of my YouTube videos. So kits there. Charts, I have that I haven't started. I must have maybe about 14. I think it's about 14 Hades. I've got my Long Dog sampler. I've got Epic Pokemon. I've got a couple of free ones from Artisy. I've got some Notre Dame ones that when there was the fire with Notre Dame, a load of free cross-stitch patterns came up for that one, so I got those. So yeah, I don't know how many altogether, but yeah, I'll probably say close to maybe about 30 charts I've not started. I'm guessing. But that's what I'm going to guess with anyway. Next question. Truth, which designs or designers do you just not get? The ones I don't get are... Now I do apologise if people like these ones, but the Carolyn Manning ones, which are just the coloured squares that everyone seems to be going crazy over at the moment. I just don't get those ones at all. They're not my style. I just don't see what the big fuss is with regards to them. It's like it's just coloured blocks. And yeah, they've all got nice names and stuff like that, but I don't see how those pictures resemble what she's putting on there, if you know what I mean. So, no disrespect to anyone who likes those buns, but they're just not my cup of tea. And also as well, these ones where you've got animals that are supposed to be human, where they're all dressed up in clothes and they look really freaky. I'm not a big fan of those ones either. I don't think I'd ever stitch one of those ones. So yeah, they're the ones I don't get. I don't know who designs all those ones. But yeah, I don't get those ones at all. And it's like, because they have really, really like funny heads and then great big bodies. Well, most of them have like dresses on or something like that, because most of them are female. And they have these really, really humongous dresses that look like a coffee table stuck to the hips. So yeah, I just don't get those ones. So, as I say, my apologies if people out there like those ones, but they're not mine. Not my cup of tea. Which designer or designers do you absolutely adore and cannot live without? I think that was pretty obvious. Hade is one of them. I also like Tilton Craft. I've got the Big Cats piece from them. And Custom Crafts, which is what my Majestic Tigers was. I like their work as well. So, but my main one I would say is Hade, obviously. I've got plenty of their designs, so obviously I like those ones a lot. So, I know I'll probably never get all of my charts stitched in my lifetime. I'm not getting any younger. Next question, how many hours a week do you devote to stitching? That depends on work. I stitch every night. I get in from work, just out what I'm having for my tea, dinner, whatever you want to call it, where you use it from. And then I'll stitch a little bit, have my food, and then I'll stitch for a little bit more. Now I generally get in from work about 5 o'clock, have my tea and everything. So I might do a bit, half an hour stitching before my tea, have my tea, wash the pots, get my shower, and I'll sit down and I'll stitch for maybe another hour and a half. So normally it's about 2 hours a day. At weekends, just depends, one, whether I'm working, and two, if I've got any plans. So, but normally, on average, on a weekend day, if I'm not working, I will stitch for maybe about 6-7 hours on each day. I mean, Sundays, I generally do my whole housework on a Sunday, and then on the Sunday evening, I phone my mum. So normally any stitching I do on there is like between 12 and 5 normally. Next question. You're on a desert island and resources are scarce. There are 4 options available to you. Chocolate, coffee, Mr. Darcy, as played by Colin Firth, of course, or stitching. You can only pick 2. Which 2 would you go for? That's easy. Stitching and coffee. Chocolate, I can take it or leave it. I've been known to have a selection box, what you get at Christmas, with all your chocolates in it. And I've still had some left. I mean, you don't get many pieces of chocolate in those. But I've still had some left in, like, June, July. So I can take or leave chocolate. It's not one of my things. I don't have to go out my way to eat it. Coffee, I can't do without coffee. So it would definitely be coffee and stitching. And next question, does your significant other really know how much you spend on your craft? Hell no. They don't know any prices of what I spend. Mind you, I've not really spent an awful lot of money on craft stuff. Obviously when I got my tax money, which is how I bought my stand and that, then I was going to get some cross-stitching stuff. So other than that, I've not really splurged and bought anything, so, well, except for the charts, which I don't know about. So, but yeah, nah. Generally don't keep secrets. I'll tell them how much I've spent in a roundabout fashion. They don't need to know the exact price now, do they? So, anyway, that's the end of that tag, I believe. So it was 28 questions. So that's the end of that tag. So yes, I think I did have some questions from somebody else that they asked, but I haven't been able to find those. I thought I took a screenshot so I wouldn't lose them, and I can't find them. So I'll have to have a rummage through again about those. It may have even been on email. I didn't check my emails before starting this, so it could be on my email. So I'll have a look, and if there's any other questions, I'll get those next week. So yes, it's been really nice weather here. So we're in spring, and it's getting pretty warm. We got up to 32 degrees the other day, which I believe in Fahrenheit is about 94, I think. So that's not bad for a spring day. Today we're at 29 degrees. So we are warming up. It's just nice, this temperature at the moment. It's when we get into the full summer and it gets into like the 40s. That's when it can get uncomfortable. During the day I don't mind the heat. I just like to have a nice cool evening. I prefer to sleep when it's cool. I think everybody does. So if it's cool at night time and it's warm during the day, I'm happy. It's if it's really hot during the night time and you just can't get comfortable and it's all muggy, and then yeah, I don't like that part. But I suppose that's what fans and aircon's for. We don't have aircon as such in this house I'm in. It's ceiling fans. Do have a portable aircon which I brought over from the UK, but it's not overly brilliant. In the UK it was fantastic. It cooled my room down no problem, but over here I think there's a bit more humidity than anything, so it does make it a bit more uncomfortable, but it does make it a bit more bearable in the bedroom at night time, but it's still really hot and muggy. And I generally have it on a timer, so it goes off after a couple of hours, because I know by then I'll be asleep. But as soon as it goes off, that's it, I wake up, start sweating, and it goes back on again. So yeah, so we're around about roughly where I am, where I normally finish my videos. I thought it might have taken a bit longer doing the needlework attack, but obviously it didn't. So, well, again guys, if you have any questions or comments, then feel free to pop those down below, and I'll either answer them in the next Stitch with Me, or I'll answer you straight back, one of them. 9 out of 10 though, if I get a question on the Stitch with Me's, I'll generally answer those in a Stitch with Me as well, because obviously if you're interested and wanting to know the answer to it, then other people may do as well. So yeah, so feel free to do those, or again drop me an email. As always, my email is in the description box below, so that's dizzystitcher@gmail.com. Or if you want to send me a message on Instagram, you can do them there as well. My handle on Instagram is just dizzystitcher, and again I'll answer you back on there, or if I'm going to answer it in the video, I'll let you know I'll answer it in the video. So yeah, so we're going to leave it there then guys. Saves me threading in another piece of floss. So far on this piece I've gone through, which I'm quite surprised, 1 full skein of black, which, considering, let me zoom back out for you, considering that most of this is all black here, and then you've got all the black in the toucan, so most of this background here is black or 3371, but I'm surprised I've only used 1 full skein. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4th page on here out of, I think it's 102 pages this chart. So I'm surprised I've only used the 1 skein of black so far, but I could say I think this one only actually called for about 5 skeins. No, it didn't. It called for 13 skeins of black. So on here it's got left 98,322 skeins of black stitches. So this piece altogether has 727,272 stitches, and I've done 27,177. So just another 700,000 stitches to go on this one. One of my pieces I've not started yet. It's another supersized one, which is the Waterhole Master. That one calls for, I think I worked it out, 53 skeins of black of 310. So for that one, I think I'm going to have to look into getting one of the cones of black, because I'm not buying 53 skeins of 310. No way. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So as I say, any questions or comments, feel free to drop those down below, or send me an email, and I'll get back to you on that. Cat here, just what you want. But other than that, guys, stay safe, happy stitching, and I will catch you in my next update video at the weekend. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon.